You're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network. Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Liz Esther.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Liz to like musical theater. I think this might be a first. No. Yeah, it is definitely the second or third time this has happened. We are re-reviewing a musical because the film adaptation came out and we've already previously done the stage show. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, probably Juliet Antonio. The only other time we've done this is with Dear Evan Hansen. That sounds correct, right?
Well, we definitely covered Dear Evan Hansen at least 3 or 4 times, so I would say it must be correct.
It sounds correct to me.
I can't think of another time, because not a lot of movie musicals get released, specifically ones based on older shows. So, yeah, I'm going to count this as a win that Hollywood finally made a movie musical out of a good musical. Unlike what's coming up next couple of weeks, spoilers, I saw a bird eat a cow or something.
Oh, God. Have you seen that already?
No, I'm seeing it tomorrow.
What are you talking about?
Oh, God.
Mean Girls.
Oh, the Mean Girls.
But you know what? The girls in The Color Purple are pretty not that mean. This week we're talking about The Color Purple movie. Let's go.
So make a joyful noise unto the Lord. When the king threw Daniel in the lion's den, the Lord works in mysterious ways. God sent a mighty angel, brought him out again.
So, The Color Purple is a film written by Marcia Norman, adapted for the screen by Marcus Gardley, with music and lyrics by Brenda Russell, Allie Willis, and Stephen Bray. Directed by Blitz Bazawule, the film had its world premiere in London on November 20th, 2023, and was released theatrically on December 25th, 2023. It was originally scheduled to be released on December 20th, 2023, but later switched release dates with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, going up in competition against another musical film, Wonka, which we have talked about on this show already. The plot of The Color Purple is a decade-spanning tale of love and resilience and one woman's journey to independence. Celie faces many hardships in her life, but ultimately finds extraordinary strength and hope in the unbreakable bonds of sisterhood. Not sure if that's how I describe the book or any of the other adaptations, but definitely this film. So I've kind of publicly stated my feelings on this film on Twitter the minute I saw it. I stand by it, but I still feel like the things that annoy me about it really, really annoy me about it. So what do you guys think?
Well, you can't just leave us hanging like that. What did you say on Twitter?
Oh, well, fuck. All right. So basically my tweet was more or less, The Color Purple is one of the best movie musicals since Chicago. And I do believe that. I stand by that. That is truly how I feel about it, and I think it is completely accurate. That being said, I have a lot of dumb nitpicks. It feels like this film, along with the Steven Spielberg film, are very afraid of handling the sexuality and romantic aspects of Celie and Shug's relationship, especially in adapting a specific series of scenes, but one specifically where Shug Avery makes Celie look at her own vagina for the first time, and the direct sexual romantic relationship between them in a way that's text as opposed to subtext. In Spielberg's film, it is very blatantly subtext kept under the rug. There's like a mild kiss, but it's not framed in a romantic way. This time there is a kiss in silhouette, very much hidden, as well as they wake up in the same bed together. And as well, Shug Avery turns to Christ at the end, which is not a subplot in either the book or the previous film adaptation or the stage musical. In fact, it ruins the overall emotional arc of Celie, because Celie's big song, I'm Here, at the end, is in the musical a reaction to Shug Avery being like, hey, before I'm too old, I want to go out and fuck a bunch of other people. And Celie's like, I thought you loved me. And she's like, I gotta do this. And the first words of that song, which are cut in the movie, are, I don't need you to love me. I don't need you at all.
I don't need you to love me.
Is, I think, a disservice to the overall character arcs. However, this film seems to be much more interested in finding the joy in situations and not harping on the pain and the emotional hardships of Celie, which is something both the book and the previous adaptations really, really reveled in a lot more. Not saying they don't show some of how this bad Celie's life is, but it doesn't quite linger on them as much. However, I'm not sure if there's not that much hardship to go through, the high points aren't quite as high. You don't soar quite as high when you get to those other points. But maybe that's just me. What do you guys think?
I don't even remember exactly how I felt about the Broadway one. So I wish I did, but I feel like that was so long ago. I just cannot,
Liz,
for the life of me,
lovingly re-listen to that episode. Do you recall any of Andrew's own opinions?
I recall you enjoyed it, but like you knew there was flaws, but you overall liked it. You thought the music was really good, but you thought the plot was a little bit struggling. So.
I remember not fully understanding what happened.
Yeah, you were confused, I think, and also Jess was confused, even though he read the book.
Yeah, I think Jess was confusing me more than anything in that episode because he kept bringing up stuff that didn't happen in the
Jess
Broadway show.
Talking about the book.
That sounds right.
So
he kept talking about stuff that didn't happen in the Broadway show, and I was like, what's going on?
The thing about different adaptations, and I've brought this up in our previous episodes, specifically ones on Jane Eyre and things like that. Sometimes when you are very familiar with a source material and you see a musical, you kind of fill in the gaps with your own knowledge because you already know the story.
That's why being familiar with source material is almost always a bad thing. You should just not read the source material ever.
I mean, it's not like I saw... Okay.
It's very easy to overthink it when you know the source material.
Yes.
If you read the book, what you should do is hit your head as hard as you can with a hammer so you forget the book, and then watch the movie, and usually you'll have a better experience.
So you're in your car waiting to go into the theater. You have your friend or partner hit you in the head with a hammer until you kind of remember your name. Then you go see the movie.
Then you go see the movie, and you'll have a much better time.
And then you have to go to a doctor for your head wound, but it's fine.
I really want someone to clip this out of context and just frame that as what we should do before we see The Color Purple.
That's actually not my opinion on The Color Purple, though. I feel like if you are in that state, you won't enjoy it nearly as much.
No.
So back to you, Andrew. The film.
Oh man, the film was really good. I mean, I have a few things I didn't love, but honestly, like, the music is really solid. And for a movie musical in this day and age, having them actually sing the songs properly and well is like, holy shit, I witnessed a miracle. You know? It's like, wow, they hired singers for this.
I also want to say that two of the lead actors, Celie and Sophia, are from the stage version in different capacities. Fantasia was from the original Broadway cast, and wonderful casting choice, wonderful then. As well, Danielle Brooks was from the new Broadway cast playing the same role, and both of them fucking kill it. And one of my favorite actors of all time, Taraji P. Henson, is in this and doing incredible work here, like next level incredible. She's been in this business for so long, and I wish she was getting more attention for a lot of her work, but that's just not what's going on because, you know, a lot of things in our world, sadly. I think that bringing on those Broadway actors added authenticity and, as Andrew said,
Absolutely, yeah.
and they have experience with his characters and all that. What did you feel about it visually?
I think visually it looked pretty good. There was at times it felt like I don't know how to describe it. I'm not like a film guy in that sense, but I felt like the background felt flat sometimes. Is specifically in outdoor scenes.
Okay,
I don't know.
That's a good point. I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'll come back to it. Liz, what did you think of the film?
I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it. It's tough to watch in some areas just because, like, the sexual abuse, even when it's implied, it's difficult to
stomach
a lot of the time. But the singing is great. It felt like a musical directed by a person that actually cared about musicals.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
Like, kind of a miracle. Like, Wonka felt like Paul King just got hired. And Evan Hansen is a whole another bag of worms, but this one was directed by like a guy who liked the stage show and wanted to make it a movie, which never happens anymore. Like, good on you, dude. You actually cared. Thank you for caring. Mm-hmm. It's really fun. I liked it. It's obviously tough subject matter, but it's enjoyable. The actors are great. Like, songs are great. Like, looks great. Great cinematography, great editing.
Your kids will love it.
Don't bring your children.
No.
I think there are some teenagers in my theater, actually. I saw this on MLK Day. I think there were some teenagers in my theater.
It is. So, let me just talk about things I love about the original story that this did well. And things that I think... So, has anyone seen the Steven Spielberg film in this group?
I watched about 20 minutes of it and realized I was not in the mood to watch a depressing movie, so I turned it off. But it's a good movie.
It is a fine movie. Whoopi Goldberg is in it. She has a cameo in this film. Oprah Winfrey actually giving a wonderful performance in that film. The acting is the reason to see that. I think Spielberg was kind of out of his depth as a filmmaker at that time. I think if he had tackled it more recently, he would have probably done it a lot differently. It does feel a little navel-gazy as a film. It feels a little fearful and a little unaware of how to properly portray some scenes. And then other scenes it does beautifully, and a lot of those pieces this film tips the hand to. That being said, this film strangely feels similarly navel-gazy at points. In fact, I kind of felt myself a little conflicted on how this represents it, because it is very much about finding black joy. And I know as a white man that's a weird thing to say, but this film, despite hardships, really does want to focus on the good things in life, the positivity, the joyous moments, and not wallow in the sad moments. I was having a conversation with my partner Miranda afterwards, and she said the thing that felt different about this than most musicals is it doesn't feel like any song pushes the plot forward. It seems that each one kind of stops and gives like us a little music video, which makes sense because Blitz Bazawule, he worked on mostly music videos, including Beyonce's Black is King for Disney. Great work there. I listened to his conversation with the Directors Guild for the DGA podcast, and hearing the reason why he was picked for this film by Steven Spielberg, Oprah Winfrey, and Quincy Jones, who were the producers and had pick of director, was fascinating to me because he had to draw every shot of this film, beginning to end, and he has an animator's thought process, and you can tell that. Where he's like, if I described these things to them that I wanted to do for this film, they would have laughed me out of the room. But if I drew it for them, it would have had different things. So specifically, the phonograph where Celie dances on it with Shug Avery in the bathtub on a phonograph, he's like, those are the images I wanted. And I didn't know how to get to those images until I reread the book and I saw the first words of it, which is Dear God, where she's writing letters to God, means this woman has an imagination, which allowed us to free Celie in a way that she hadn't been previously, where she was kind of this insular kind of wallflower character and gave her life and autonomy over her own story that she hadn't before. And those are the things that really worked for me and really felt effective. And in any other kind of format would have felt a little too grand for such a painful story, but they they phrase it so better. I would even say that the fantasy sequences work better here than they do in Chicago.
Yeah, there was actually quite a few of those type of sequences throughout the movie, and it does let you get into her head more, especially since she doesn't really get a chance to do or say what she wants to in most of it because of her situation. So you kind of get visual of what she actually feels using that.
And there are points where it kind of takes something that should be horrific and puts you in her point of view to find the joy and love in it. And like, this is going to sound really horrific, but in the movie, she does get sexually assaulted by her husband many times. But in the way of framing that as kind of her taking power, we focus entirely on Suge Avery's photo, which draws that romantic connection between her and Suge before she even meets her, which I think is a great choice. Like, these choices that make horrific things seem a little bit more palatable, a little bit more, I won't say romanticized, but a little bit more honest, a little bit in her head, a little bit more empathetic instead of just voyeuristic. I think the removal of the voyeurism of these horrible events is really the best thing that this does. That being said, this is not a really miserable film at all. This is very joyous, but to do that, they had to cut 13 songs out of the film from the stage show.
Yeah. So, has a I think it's 2.5 hour long
Yes.
movie. There is considerably less songs than you would expect, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the songs that are there aren't really good, but I'm trying to remember the Broadway show, but there must have been quite a bit of music cut for this movie.
Yes. And the reason is Blitz in that same interview said he really wanted there to turn what is a more kind of early 2000s, almost everything is sung through kind of musical with a Greek chorus into a 60s style musical. He wanted to have book scenes and song scenes and for one to lead into each other and diegetically introduce the song through things in the book scenes. For example, like when they're building the house, they will set up the diegetic sounds to make the music, being hammers and nailing things and putting things on. And every scene starts with that. And if he couldn't find a justifiable way to lead into the song, he was going to cut it. Which, on one hand, I miss a lot of those songs. I feel that it kind of makes it feel less like a musical and more like a film with songs. However, it does kind of take away the power from the horrible characters. The only people that sing in this are the quote-unquote decent human beings. Mr. does not sing a non-diegetic song throughout the entire thing, and that almost makes him feel other because of that.
Mr. is a piece of shit. Holy fuck.
Fucking sucks.
Yes, he does.
He gets more than he deserves at the end.
Seriously, I would have fucking
Like-
punched him.
He deserved that razor through the neck,
100%.
and he didn't get it.
He got like a "we'll be friends" thing. No, I would have fucking punched him out anytime I saw him.
Yeah, we'll be friends, my
We'll be
ass.
friends. Fuck you. Don't talk to me.
It is interesting because the story takes place over so many years, so many decades, and they don't really look to be aging that much over the time. Like,
It's supposed to be like 40 years, I think. right?
yes.
If you in the last scene on some of the close-ups, you can see a little bit of prosthetic on some of the actors. Teresa B. Henson definitely has some, and I think Coleman Domingo has a little bit, but like it's not like a Keegan Michael Key and Wonka level of prosthetic.
No.
It's like a subtle. I
not that
got
good.
old prosthetic.
But I like the fact that the young Seeley and young Nettie are played by different actors when they're young than when they're old. I think Sierra plays older Nettie, and
Yes.
Haley Bailey plays young
Halle
Nettie.
Bailey, I'm pretty
Is
sure.
it Halle
I
Bailey?
think it's
Okay.
Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey, wonderful she leaves an impression despite having very little screen time at all. That being said, Andrew, there is a little bit of the artifice felt here, and I think that's kind of what you're feeling with the colors. So I think what is the biggest difference, and the reason why you thought that the sky felt like kind of washed out the colors, is because anytime they are indoors, they are 100% on a set, and everything has a bright, like, incandescent light shining right through the window, creating these beautiful smoky spotlights, like very theatrical, very big. And then when you go outside for any reason, it's just harsh sunlight. So it just feels like you're entering into a different kind of movie. So it feels distracting, a little too realistic, which is fine. I just feel like you could choose one or the other, and we have more of the theatrical, and I think that suits this kind of story that Blitz was doing, as opposed to the kind of more rough and tumble kind of 12 Years a Slave style, more Steve McQueen look that the outside world reminds me of.
So the outside is actually outside.
Yes.
But because it's just lit by the sunlight, it actually kind of makes everything look a little it almost looked unrealistic to me, because I was used to the like bright stage lights that they were using before.
Yes, but you can't control the sun. So if you've got like a bright day, no clouds in the sky where you can control the shadows a bit, like specifically the moments I'm thinking of are like when they're on the beach and all that. When they've got tree cover on them, it's fine. They're covered. It looks beautiful. You can have those shining lights. But when they're just like out in the middle of a street or something, it becomes.
I think when they were near the dock, at times, I remember that looking kind of a little bit weird. Currently, there was not much they could do about that.
No, it's not their fault or anything like that. It's just one of those things you kind of notice, and then you can't unnotice it. So let's take a little bit to unpack all the characters really quick. We got Celie, wonderful performance from Fantasia. Didn't originate the role on Broadway, but played on Broadway. They had to take a lot of convincing to be in this show, in the film, allegedly, because they hated doing the Broadway performance. It nearly killed her. It was a very unpleasant experience for her on stage. And all Blitz had to do was show some of the drawings that he was doing for every shot of the film, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this. I see that this won't be just utter pain for me." I think that's a big problem that a lot of actors find with Celie, is it is just so much pain and so much horror throughout the entire story. And this one focused a lot on her joy and those moments and a lot of those kind of things. However, it was not fun and games on the set of this film. Have you guys heard about the controversy of the set experience for these actors?
I haven't heard anything about behind the scenes, really.
I have.
All right, Liz. I feel like I've been talking too much. Why don't you elaborate on that?
All right, let's go. So let me just get the actual paragraph up with the details, because I'm not remembering all of them. Okay, so Taraji P. Henson said in an interview that she had to speak out against unfair working conditions during the movie. So this is a quote from her. "At this point, I'm a Golden Globe winner and Academy Award nominated, so I went in there with a chip on my shoulder because I was like, you will never second guess me again." Because they fought against her. And then Danielle Brooks also said they didn't have dressing rooms. And there was no food provided at rehearsals. And then the cast reached out to Oprah, and Oprah was like, "Shit, let me fix that." Because it's Oprah. Also, apparently they had to drive themselves to the set, which is an actual safety issue.
That could fuck with your insurance. There's a reason they have drivers.
Yeah, so that was the main few things. Also, Taraji P. Henson was apparently very underpaid for this movie, and she considered quitting acting. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, and a lot of that lies on the shoulders of the producers, which Blitz has been openly kind of I wouldn't say antagonistic, because that's openly critical of, and there's only 4 of them. They're Oprah Winfrey, Steven Spielberg, Scott Sanders, and Quincy Jones. And once the film was hitting like close to the $100 million budget, the director of the film no longer had final say in who he chose, and was getting pressure to hire folks like Beyonce and other folks like that as opposed to the people that were right for the role. Beyonce, Rihanna, they're fine performers, I guess. If you like Battleship and Austin Powers, I would not have put them in this movie.
That wouldn't have worked at all.
It wouldn't work at all, frankly. But
It's maybe Beyonce could have played old Nettie at the end, but that's about it. I'm trying to say she wouldn't be a good fit for any of the other roles.
I mean, they did cast her as a side character, so they kind of got their way.
I'm Squeak.
Yeah, her played Squeak. She was credited as her actual name, but in like Wikipedia it says her.
Yeah. I think that she did wonderful, but there's so many little roles here that just don't have much to do, and it's Seeley's story, and you can't hire a traditionally kind of normal movie star looking person to play Seeley. This is a star making role in the same way it was for like Whoopi Goldberg and folks like that. And you can't cast someone traditionally movie star quality to play play Sophia. That's why Oprah Winfrey played the role previously, and Danielle Brooks was perfect. And Coleman Domingo, perfect casting. Corey Hawkins, who we all remember from In the Heights, really good as Harpo. There's just things from the book that I really felt like missed. Speaking of, remember when she shows up to Mr.'s house and there are 2 other children that never get seen again?
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot about those kids.
Where'd they go?
I just figured they died.
I just figured they like ran away off screen or something.
And they do a lot to sand off the edges. Specifically, those children were horrendously abusive to Seeley in the books. Especially Harpo, in fact. So just showing like Harpo be immediately nice to Seeley was a little jarring to me in the movie, and showing them as
This is why you needed to use the hammer technique.
Yeah, the
I did.
hammer technique.
I had to just
The
shut.
amnesia.
Also, I brought this up. David Alan Grier plays the preacher Samuel Avery.
The problem with the day Alan Greer showed up, I was only thinking about the Angels in the Outfield sequel that we found out David Alan Greer was in, so I immediately started laughing internally, and I was like, is that David Alan Greer?
So wild. I do not believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Liz, that is not a character in the book. That is not an arc in the book. She did not have a preacher that lived in the town like that was her father. And I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm talking a lot. I'm on my fucking soapbox right now.
This is definitely how the first episode went, isn't it?
100%. It's mostly Jess just talking about how the book should have gone and how the show should follow the book more, and Andrew being like, okay, dude, I didn't read the book. I thought it was fine.
See, I used the hammer technique, so this whole book thing's way over my head.
The musical was out of your head beforehand.
Okay, there is a character named Sam in the book, but I don't remember. Is that one of the children?
No, Samuel Avery is apparently the Reverend. I don't believe
Samuel
he exists.
Avery is in the book then.
Okay,
So,
maybe.
Yeah,
Andrew,
David
cut this
Allen
out.
Greer is in the book.
Jess, you don't even know the source material, and you're
And
complaining.
you read it
anyway.
like 50,000 times apparently.
No. I read it once.
You know, didn't you read it before this recording?
No, I revisited some of it. Didn't
okay.
reread it.
I feel like they gave the arc to the wrong character there. So I feel like
Yes.
the Reverend was the one who should have learned to forgive
Yeah,
the daughter,
true.
but they went the other way.
I also more read that scene as like the daughter finally reconnecting with her family at home rather than running away from it via like alcohol and like all the other stuff she used to cope, rather than just like being with her dad for 10 seconds.
Oh, fuck this. All right. Let me just. I'm so sorry.
You're
Samuel
fine.
Avery. Allegedly, he's a reverend married to Corinne, and he adopts Seeley's children and marries Nettie. He is not the same character.
Okay.
Just wanted to clarify that one out there.
I've not read the book. I'm reading the Wikipedia summary, and there's a lot of words in it. So.
There is.
So did they just give them the same last name to confuse you?
I don't think it says Avery. I think they just gave this guy the reverend role and just made him the parent of Shug Avery.
Yeah,
So-
that's what happened.
So Shug Avery is never contrite in the book. She is basically like, I'm a fuck around, and for the rest of my life, I'm gonna fuck who I want, do what I want, drink however I want. And I hate the fact that they gave her an arc, because I don't think that character would have an arc. She stops drinking, as you can see by the fact that she had to be driven around the first half of the film and is driving herself in the second half of the film, finds God, and her and Celie are just gal pals that kissed once. Instead of having a committed relationship that she throws away to go fuck some more before she's too old.
Well, she's also, like, married at some, like, even before she gets off alcohol, she marries a dude.
Yeah, but that's...
So.
Yeah, but that dude's a total cuck.
True. True.
That also kind of pissed Celie off, and that happens after she escapes Mr.'s hideaway, or Mr.'s grasp.
Hideaway.
God. Mr.'s grasp
house.
in the book. So I just thought that really kind of felt cowardly in a weird way. It gives Suge a bit more to do, but it kind of betrays the character that we've set up for her.
Yeah. I didn't see it that way, but I respect it. I respect your view of it.
Yeah, and that's with a lot of extra additional context given. And it also just bothers me that there's a decent male father figure, which this story seems to really not like male father figures at all.
Wait, who are we talking about who's decent?
Suge Avery's father.
But also, like, Celie's...
Oh, okay.
But Celie's, like,
He's not that
biological
good, though.
dad was, like, a decent guy. He's just off-screen.
Yeah.
Like, he gave her the store, even when she was, like, a child.
Yeah.
So, there's some decent men.
That
Most of them are
boxer
terrible.
guy wasn't the worst, I think, but I don't know where he went. He disappeared.
Yeah, where did he go?
He apparently died while Sophia was in prison.
Oh.
Jesus. Should have brought that up.
Yeah, they should have mentioned that. Jesus Christ, because he just starts dating Harpo again. It's weird.
Yeah, he apparently died, and then Celie started taking care of the kids. It's a whole thing.
You know, it's fine.
Yeah. Sophia is the best character in the story anyways.
Absolutely.
God, that's a
Yeah,
wonderful character.
I feel like my biggest gripe with the whole thing is that the mayor's wife never got any comeuppance.
Yeah. Yeah, she sucked.
But that's true to real life.
I don't care. I'm watching a movie.
Musical.
I want her to shit in her drink and then she drinks it.
You want the help.
I don't want to watch The Help though.
Yeah, I don't want to watch the help either.
Nobody should want to watch The Help. Like, okay, one of the things that I really appreciate about every adaptation of The Color Purple is white people kind of aren't involved in it. It is not about them, and then when they are, they fuck it all up.
One white person shows up and ruins everything.
Yeah, ruins the life of a perfectly nice woman who was just living her life.
Only white person in the entire thing.
She was just buying her son's ice cream. It's like, fuck, I'm gonna ruin your life today.
They do a good job showing the alternate route of slavery that was implemented in America. Just put them in prison.
And it's, yep. White people are the worst, I think, is basically it. And
And none of them are worse than me.
I can think of a few. How about we compare our opinions to those of the real critics over on Letterboxd.com, the real enemies? It's time for Previews, the Letterboxd game, 1-star, 5-star.
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
Andrew, do you even play the Previews theme anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in the last episode. Did you not fucking listen to it?
I haven't had the
Fucking
time
asshole.
yet.
But 6 doesn't have a previews.
Yeah, it does.
It does?
We read the New York Times review.
Oh, we did. Yeah, I forgot.
God, all right. Are we
for 2
ready,
weeks, man.
guys?
I'm ready.
Andrew, are you ready?
Oh yeah, of course. It's the Letterboxd game. I win all of these every single time.
No, I have to win.
I've literally never lost.
Don't, Juliet.
Look into it.
Andrew, you're first.
Look into it.
I'll help you.
All right.
Trolls band together.
Trolls band together. We're gonna go with 1 star.
That is correct. Liz, you ready?
I'm ready.
Cried so hard I got a migraine.
Oh fuck.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Just
same.
like Celie at the end of the movie.
Yeah. She cried so hard. 5.
That is correct. Andrew,
Yeah?
how did they make it a musical and less gay?
I mean, from how you described the movie, it sounds like they still made it more gay, just not gay enough.
Strangely, the movie... Ugh. So the kiss scene in the movie has heat to it. Like, it is not... Like, to quote Jordan Searles, who is a wonderful critic, said, I felt more sexual tension between a scene that is not meant to be sexual than the scene that is explicitly romantic. Which I don't disagree with. I felt more sexual tension between Whoopi Goldberg and the actress that played Shug in the Spielberg movie than Taraji P. Henson and Fantasia in this movie. And they had a whole, like, lesbian dance sequence here.
You guys got weird standards. Okay.
I'm repeating others and agreeing with it.
Yeah, I know. You just want them to fuck. It's all right,
I
Jess.
do!
There's plenty of gay porn on the internet. Like, it's
No, it's important. There's an entire scene where Shug shows Celie her own vagina with a mirror, and she describes it in detail. Also,
Jess
there's an
jerking
entire...
off to lesbian porn. This is important. It's important.
It's not porn, it's art, Andrew!
You know, Leah Michelle once showed someone their vagina. Is that art?
She would claim it is.
True.
Okay. I'm being facetious, but we're gonna
Are
go
you,
with
though?
half.
You have fun way to play
I'm gonna
this game.
go
There's
with
just one trick one.
1 star. This is a 1 star.
That is correct. Liz, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hell no.
Oh, well, they quoted the song, which means they liked the movie, so 5.
Nope, that was a 1.
Dear me.
I tricked you.
I was using Andrew's theories to try to win, but I lost because of Andrew's theories.
My theories only work in theory.
That's true. A game theory.
Oh, he's dead now.
I'm
Rip.
retiring.
This is Andrew. Last letterbox.
All right. Andrew.
Yeah.
Why they Facetune the sky?
That's just the sky, man.
She's a 1 star.
That is correct. Liz.
Yes.
Not even as purple as Wonka. Can't disagree with that.
Wonka wasn't that purple. Could have been more purple. I'll say blanked out Wonka. She probably did, honestly. 1.
That is correct. Andrew.
Yeah.
The novel gave my flatmate dyslexia and the movie gave me a rash.
So you did the hammer technique, I see. Okay.
Well, you can always use baby powder to recover. We're gonna go 1 again. These are all 1 star reviews.
That is correct. Liz.
Yes.
Bring back hexing people.
Ooh, yeah. Where's that song? It's the only thing I know about the musical, about the hexing song.
The one time that Mr. sings in the song is him singing about how miserable he is under Celie's curse, and I kind of miss it.
Yeah, I think Golden Ego would have kicked ass on that one.
Instead, he just falls asleep in mud.
True. That was fun. 1 star.
That is a 5-star.
Damn it.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Holy moly, 3 dots.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
5 stars. They were
That
impressed.
is correct.
Oh, I am nailing these.
And
Holy
Liz,
shit.
last question.
Well, I already lost, so.
Yes, you did. Grandmother core.
Another one for me. I never lose. It's like,
What was the review again?
Grandmother core.
Grandmother? Jesus Christ. 5.
As a 1. Andrew,
Damn.
you have won the letterbox game. Congratulations. Make a speech right now.
Go.
Jess watching this movie, he's like, Gmail. Hang on.
No, just watching this movie is that this should have been from the book. They should have had this from the book. They should have this from the book.
Where's the scene where they fuck? It's really important to the plot.
Where's the mirror for her badge? We need it.
We really needed that scene, and I think they should have really lingered on that.
It is important. I'm not going to sit here and get cyberbullied in real life. Hey guys, today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Andrew, what's going on over there? Is that one of those fancy cups? Is that a Stanley cup?
Oh, it is.
I didn't know you had big money. Where?
Not.
Oh.
It's a Hydro Flask.
Nope, he got the knockoff. Andrew, what's
Thank
going on over at
fucking God.
Patreon?
Patreon is where you can go to spend the money you didn't spend on all the Stanley Cups. I know you wanted a Stanley Cup collection of 50,000 cups that just have one color and nothing special at all about them. And they're not going to be worth less than Beanie Babies in 5 months. But you could spend that money on Patreon instead and get extra content from your favorite podcast, Musicals with Cheese. And also, we receive that money and can use it to keep the show going because Lord knows we need it.
Yes. Speaking of which, I don't know if you noticed this, because I just did. We got our first patron back. I don't know if we guilted them or something, but they came back.
I hope we
I
didn't guilt them.
back.
Well, maybe I do
Welcome
hope
back,
we did
Melissa.
guilt them.
Now Jess can remember the
Great
list
job.
in the way he wanted to.
You slightly inconvenienced us before, but now we're back to normal.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some Angels in the Outfield content on Patreon soon.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, there better be. I'm always ready. But our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, hey, welcome back, Danielle Reddix, Jess the Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Mary Lou Choquette, Jean Vanels, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Janae C, Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, Thespian, Robert Benjamin, Jessica T, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Chris Marcotte, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Trevi Joseph, Layla, RJ Noriga, Julia McLennan, Bjorn Hermans, Toriana Frazier, Sammy The Adequate Amount, Jacobson, Kaylee Blazier, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss Sophiana Ali, The Omega Geek, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Elisa Erdman, Anna Loskatova, Sarah Den Blekier, Evan Ball, Zachary Torres, Rora Morasso, Mara Forloin, Lisa L, Possessed Washing Machine, Nick Roten, Puffy Boy, Sydney Hicks, Anna Beal, Billy Clifton, Andrew Wright, The Red Caboose Kaboom, Gold-Plated Kiki Mora, Julia Balders Doder, and Hutmut Butt. These folks give us a little extra financial support that helps us keep the lights on here at Musicals with Cheese. If you'd like to join them in supporting us and get all those fun things Andrew brought up, and discounts on our merch and our monthly patron meetups and a lot of other cool shit,
And the
come
Discord.
join. And the Discord. I keep forgetting to promote the Discord, but the Discord is fun. And you know what? Maybe we should start some bingo nights. I feel like that'd be a good thing to do. I think we'd be better at it too. Let's get back to the show. Okay, the opening shot of this movie is so fucking impressive. Do you guys remember it?
Oh, God.
I'm trying to remember it.
I
God.
saw this movie less
it's
recently
the-
than both of you.
Yeah.
It's following Mr. on his horse with
Yes, with the banjo.
Yeah.
with the banjo, and then it goes
on
up
the
into a tree. Yes.
And so it's one long shot, setting up it's a musical, making it diegetic, introducing the music in the world, then introducing the beat from the girls playing, and then creating a proper song in Huckleberry Pie. It is setting up the musical language of the film in one shot, and it's beautiful. Truly next level, incredible, long take filmmaking, taking obviously some inspiration from Spielberg, but also very much our own, very much gorgeous, very much everything you'd want in a film adaptation. Can we call this the anti-Les Mis, this entire film?
Oh, my God. Well, Les Mis is relevant right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
They're
way.
releasing it. Yeah.
have I talked about what I think might be happening with that Les Mis re-release? I know I tweeted about it, and I know it's not really relevant to our Color Purple discussion, but I think I'd like to bring that up.
Well, you just brought it up.
You brought it up.
So just to make it relevant, I am going to actually agree that this is the anti Les Mis, and I watched this with my girlfriend, and we were joking about like, oh man, they should have cast Hugh Jackman in this role and Russell Crowe. That would have made this way better.
Who did
It
Russell
would've.
Crowe play?
I don't remember.
Russell
Whoever
Crowe
the
would
other
have
guy
played
was.
Harpo.
Harpo, yeah.
Sophia, I need to talk to you.
Well, Hugh Jackman would have been Seeley.
Mister.
Seeley.
What?
I said Mister, but
Well, if Hugh Jackman
No, Hugh
is
Jackman's
Seeley,
the main
then Nettie
character.
has to be Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense to me.
Okay, but like for real, like,
you gonna do? Gonna down the river, play with you.
This is cursed.
all right, I'm gonna die. Okay,
Yeah, this is cursed.
this is
I don't-
this is the actual worst thing to ever imagine. I'm regretting bringing it up.
I got my sister. I can see her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine.
Why do you do a good impression of these people?
Yes. So Les Mis is getting re-released with a brand new. The word they're using is bold and new audio mix.
That's
Like-
vague.
And I looked it up. So they sent an email to people about this, about what exactly is different. And I found it interesting what's going on there. So they listed 4 new audio mixers in their description, in their promotional, that were not on the original film's cast list. They are from live recordings like Disney's Newsies and Heather's the Musical. They are, by all means, and a brand new orchestrator. They're bringing in the original orchestrator from the arena tours to reorchestrate the film.
So are they getting new singers?
No,
Yeah,
but they
getting new
are
singers.
altering the score and the mix to fit the live singing better. So I don't know if you guys remember the film. They really dulled down the orchestrations because they were singing live. And I think they're just kind of bringing it back, which also leads me to believe maybe they're dubbing the singers a little bit because
That'd be
they're
great.
Please,
Please dub
we
the
need
singers.
we need a
Please.
version where Hugh Jackman does not sound like he's literally going to die.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this would be worth doing, but I will definitely going to see this in theaters and report back. Because I know it'll be different. I just know that in my bones. Something's going to be different, or else they would not have remastered this and spent money on a re-release. Yes, I know the strikes, all that bullshit, but they wouldn't be pushing a marketing budget behind this the way that they have been if there wasn't something going on.
You might be right.
You could be onto something.
And they wouldn't be promoting brand new people that are not in the credits for the film if something wasn't going on.
Okay, so one other thing, since
Yeah.
we're talking about new releases and whatever, before we talk about more songs.
Yes, we'll get back to the Color Purple. Don't worry.
If we are, I'm actually gonna go back to the Color Purple. Did this do well?
Oh yeah,
Not really.
I think.
See, that's a problem because like this is like the best representation of a musical in a movie theater in a while. Even though they've been consistently trying, but
It's been a bad year for movies altogether. Let's be clear. This year has not been great. As far as Wikipedia says, on a $100 million budget, it made $58.4 million, which is not
That's
great.
Not good.
However, let's not forget that some of the biggest hitters out there, like Disney, has had an all-time shitty year with things like Wish and The Marvels flopping hard.
yeah,
Basically,
but those movies suck though.
Yeah, this
So,
movie's
like, there's a
actually
difference.
good.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
I mean, it's hard to get people to want to go to the theaters.
Yeah, I mean, this will probably do well once it gets to home media.
Yes,
So
but it's hard to justify. And right now, we are talking about this in the wake of the Mean Girls movie, which came out about 6 days ago, right? As of recording. Which was meant to be a streaming alone project that they updated to a feature film in theaters.
which I hate.
which means they 100% are going to make a profit off this just because most of the money spent on that is for the marketing push. But if you weren't Barbie or Oppenheimer, not really. You weren't making money in 2023. Aside from shocking hits like Super Mario Brothers movie, which is also garbage. Don't at me. You weren't really making money. I'm just looking at the films that list of this year. The only one of the top 10, one of them is fucking Avatar, which technically came out the year before, and all the rest of them were quote unquote flops if you weren't Barbie, Oppenheimer, or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Or Mario.
Or Mario. Things like Mission Impossible flopped hard. Things like Elemental flopped at first, but then gained its money back. Wonka, I don't even know where that's hitting, and it just was not a good year for movies this year. Probably because of the strikes, probably because of a lot of things, but even things that seemed like it would do well, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, flopped. Yeah. And the only reason why The Hunger Games seem to do well is because they kept their budgets low. We are overblowing these budgets by a lot, and I love The Color Purple. I don't know if it needed a $100 million budget to make this film.
It's a movie that mostly takes place in a single house.
Yeah, true.
But I love this. We already talked about the fantasy sequences, which do look good and do look expensive.
Yeah.
Specifically,
it might make its money back with streaming. I guess really there's a lot of stuff that's new to the movie industry that you can't just look at box office anymore and just be like, that's how much money it made, like you could before.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it now.
Yes. We've got the biggest musical of all time coming out later this year. It is a financial gamble, unlike any other movie musical we've ever seen with Wicked. I think it's not going to do well, just because of the landscape we're currently in.
I don't know. With the Ariana drama attached to it,
I don't think people come out for celebrities anymore. I do not believe this would have done any better if they had put Beyonce in it. I know that the producers were pushing it. I don't think it would have affected the box office too much.
No.
The landscape is completely movie stars aren't even a thing anymore, really.
Yeah.
We don't have a Arnold Schwarzenegger type people. People don't go to movies to see specific actors necessarily.
No. They do it to see there's only one director that can really get asses into seats, and that's Chris Nolan. That is the only name value alone, and he had to spend years doing some quality stuff to get there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about She Be Mine, Seeley's I Want song.
When I see mamas holding babies, I feel pain come across my heart, something deep inside, being torn apart. It like a spell come on my body, my baby's breath on me. She gon' carry her away, but I still see, oh, the Lord done send me a sign. Oh, I know she be mine. Oh, the Lord done send me a sign. Oh, I know she be mine.
This is the moment I discovered that this was going to be a properly good movie. So let's talk about this song and its history really, really quick. It is not technically in the original Broadway show.
Really?
Interesting.
It was written as the audition song for Allie Willis, Brenda Russell, and Stephen Bray when they were trying to make the musical. So they basically submitted this as their go-to song. They were picked, and then it got cut before the Broadway show premiered in 2005. And they put it back in for this.
So it was written for
Yes.
the Broadway show, but it was
cut
never used.
And then replaced.
Yes. And it's so smart because Seeley doesn't have an I Want song in the original show. And it's one of those things you don't realize until you have it.
It's a really good one, actually, too. And I love what they do with the scene. Even though I don't fully understand what thematically it's supposed to mean with the prisoners and the people in the waterfall, but visually it looks very good.
I think it's something to visually show interesting and keep a rhythmic beat to it. So the hitting of the prisoners, the kicking of the waterfalls and all that, just to keep a music video beat to it. Should we talk about Push the Button?
Oh, now that I'm here, yes.
Got your attention. Here's what you need to hear. You want your lady racing with you. You got to get her in gear. Well, here's the key to rebel mode to find the specialist the best. If you don't know where it is, give her the stick. She'll do the rest. Push the button. Push the button. Push the button. Push the button. You gotta push it if you wanna come in. Well, push the button. Push the button. Give me something to let your baby know it ain't no sin. Well, if you wanna feel the train a coming, no way. Baby, push the button and pull the window shade.
All right, apparently, when we covered this the first time, I specifically said there's a very frank conversation in the book where this song originates from about Seeley being told the specifics of how her vagina works. And in that, she was describing it like, oh, it's like little wet rose petals. It's weird. And she's like, how do you get in? It hurts. She's like, there's a button, and you got to push the button if you want to put things in there. Because she's only experienced pain with it. So she's like, no, you got to push the button to go in. And I found it baffling that they turned it into a very funny tongue-in-cheek song out of what is essentially someone explaining their own body to them.
You know, they do say it, though, so you can't complain. It's in there.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
from the book.
exactly what you fucking wanted.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
from the
The
book.
context is very different, but
Who cares?
But, you know, female sexuality should be empowering. Like, let's talk about the clitoris in a fun way.
I agree. But also, it should be empowering in that someone should discover it in their own body. And I feel like Seeley's sexuality is kind of not a thing in this movie.
Yeah, she reads to me as asexual for a lot of it.
When
Which
literally
makes sense, honestly.
within the first 5 pages of the book, which I've reread the couple pages of this book, she's like, I never felt about men the way I feel about women because women have never hurt me, and I find women beautiful and I find men disgusting. And I'm like, that says it. Like, that is as clear as day in the first, 20 pages of the book.
You know, if you wanted to watch the book, you could have watched the book.
I could have, but I missed these pieces that I feel like really set the book apart. There are things that I'm glad they don't have in there, but there are pieces of empowering lesbian and women content, specifically that go with Seeley, that I miss. What did we say incorrectly about the song previously that you would like us to rectify this time, Liz?
Honestly,
I have no idea.
I don't think you said anything wrong off the top of my head. You guys just talked about the clitoris for a minute.
What's
I
wrong
think-
with that?
And that's basically all I remember from that song discussion. Nothing wrong with that. You guys just talked about the clitoris.
This song is a joke about a clitoris.
So it's accurate.
Yes, 100%.
Also, lady masturbation is valid.
It is.
All masturbation is valid.
No. Male masturbation is a sin.
God jerks off.
How do you think we got Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, where do you think rain comes from?
It's God's tears from all the jacking off. Society.
God doesn't need to cry,
I just
but he does
imagine.
want to jerk off sometimes.
I just imagine God's dick looking like a watering pail spigot.
If you look at the whole universe, the God is the universe, right? Earth is like right near where his genitals would be. We're basically like little bacteria living in his pubic hair.
I can't wait for like real people, like people
Take
like
that, theologians.
they're like, I really want to dive into The Color Purple. I feel like I need an interesting discussion. And an hour in, we hear this.
This is ridiculous. They're talking about jerking off during the song about jerking off. This is ridiculous. This is not the mature discussion that I was hoping for.
Yes, let's talk about I'm Here, the other song that caused my audience to stand up and applaud so much that the movie leaves a pause for applause after it's done.
I got my house, it still keeps the cold down. I got my chair when my body can't hold down. Got my hands doing good like they supposed to. Showing my heart to the folks that I'm close to. I got my eyes, no they don't see us for now. They see more about how things really are now.
Every time this song has been played or sung or done everything, there is cheers and a collapse at 2 points in the song, and it always happens without fail. It's when Celie says, I'm beautiful, which is her finally coming to terms with her own beauty and love and self-appreciation.
She's
and
been called ugly this whole show, which we didn't really discuss, but like she's
No.
been called ugly this whole show.
Yes. It is a little dialed down from the other movie and the book and the stage musical, but it still happens a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely present. It's kind of awkward. Yeah.
The trigger point of this song is different than it is in the musical, and I already kind of gave this rant to Liz beforehand.
Yeah, no, I texted him that I saw it, and then he texted me a 6-message rant about the context of this song. As Jess does when you text him about things.
They cut out the first few lines that lead to the song, the emotional reason why she's singing this song. And here it's because Mr. comes by and I believe gives her all the letters from Nettie. Am I incorrect there?
Yes.
No?
Well, wait.
No.
Not the letters. A bunch of her stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, her stuff, and he, like, buys a pair of ugly pants.
She
to,
already
like,
had
left.
the letters.
Yeah, she's read all the letters already. She read those earlier in the movie before she left.
Yes, you're right. So this is triggered by her getting her stuff back and remembering her sister. And the first lines are, I got my sister. Where, in the stage musical, this song is triggered by Suge Avery saying, Celie, I want to go fuck other men, please. Bye. And she's like, wait, I thought you loved me. I thought we were in this together. And she's like, yeah, just one more time. Let me go fuck a bunch of people and I'll be back. And the song starts with being abandoned by Celie and her saying, I don't need you to love me. I don't need you at all. And she talks about all the things that she has, including her sister, and the things that make her valid outside of her romantic relationship. And
You know, I think I'm starting to understand why they did it. People probably really like that character and don't like that she's a fucking horrible piece of shit who just leaves our main character to go fuck a bunch of men.
Yeah.
So they probably were like, let's make her more likable.
but
And
likability,
honestly, they kind of did.
everyone got more likable. I feel like Celie, the way that Celie finds self-love is to not finding it in other people, which is what she was doing throughout it. She was finding it in her children and all this other things and trying to find her validation through Suge. And then she has the discovery, no, I don't need Suge to be happy. I am happy because I am who I am. And I don't think that hits as hard here. Because she's kind of already become independent. She has her own store. She has her house back. The catharsis doesn't hit as much, and it's one of the few times she gets knocked down and gets up by herself, as opposed to being brought up by Suge or someone else. And I feel like that kind of feels a little lost on here. And and the reason why Mr. and her become friends in the book is because they bond over both being cucked by Suge Avery. It's weird, but they're like,
bonding.
it
Hell
was
yeah.
cuck bonding, where it's like, yeah, Suge.
It's like trauma bonding, but worse.
Exactly. And that is the reason why they become friends, is because they both just vent about how much they're unrequited love for Suge Avery.
Yeah.
Which at least is an interesting dynamic. I don't think it's right.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. You shouldn't you
She
should be
should
friends
not-
with someone who abused you, but I don't see why you should.
Yeah, I agree. I just think
You know,
that what?
there's like a nice community spirit vibe at the end of this one though.
Yes,
I like the scene around the tree and
the color
her
purple
getting all-
scene.
Also,
her getting all happy about everybody being there. It's kind of nice.
Also, as a person that has only seen this movie, I've never seen any other version of I'm Here. I've read the entire new context as more of I've risen out of my trauma and I've become successful, but I haven't realized it until now because my abuser is no longer has power over me. That's how I personally read it,
Yes.
so that's why I found it impactful.
And
'Cause
that
now
is 100%
Mr. is scared
valid.
of her and buying ugly pants to make her happy after being beaten for years and years.
Yes.
So it was impactful to me personally, but
Mm-hmm.
I can see where Jess is coming from with the different context.
And I think
that
I just
he knows.
emotionally latched onto different things than you guys. Andrew attached to the community, you attached to the abuse, I attached to this core love story that basically doesn't exist anymore.
He might just have a crush on Suge Avery.
I mean, she's played by Taraji P. Henson. Why wouldn't he?
I had a crush on Taraji P. Henson the first time I saw Benjamin Button, and have never stopped
What a
ever
weird
since.
movie to develop a crush on.
She is so wonderful in that movie.
I don't remember that movie at all.
She deserved, I think that was her first Oscar nomination. I could be wrong, but she
think so, yeah.
is incredible in that film. Next level great. The Color Purple is a great song. I literally was like a mess in my own hands when every time Celie sees her children again. I just feel so many horrendous, deep emotions in every version, and it is truly one of the greatest catharsises. And just having that choral song playing and sung, I do kind of miss the fact that it's a reprise of a previous song, which I'm pretty sure they shot and just had to cut for time, but it still works in its own context here.
Also, it's Benjamin Button is the first and only Academy Award nomination she's received.
Are you fucking... Okay, she has done so many incredible performances since Benjamin Button that feels like... You know who her husband in that film was?
It's been years.
Mahershala Ali, who has won 2 Oscars in the meantime.
True. But
What is our overall thoughts on The Color Purple and our cheese ratings? Are we ready? Liz, why don't you go first?
It's all over me, I guess. I enjoyed this. I've only seen the movie. I haven't seen the stage show or read the book. I'm most American audiences, most likely. So I enjoyed this a lot. It's really well made. The acting's great. There's little things, obviously, that aren't perfect, but that's basically every movie. So, the fantasy use is really good. The songs are well performed. I'd recommend seeing it. I enjoyed it. What is cheese rating? Baked mac and cheese.
Beautiful. Andrew, do you want me to remind you of what your cheese rating from last time was?
I remember what his was, yeah.
Oh, sure.
It was goat cheese, and I'm looking at the list, and you used goat cheese 4 times in a row before this and twice after it.
I think his rationale for this one was I don't like it personally or something, or I don't remember.
I'm glad I used goat cheese that much. It needed the representation.
You also used Parmesan 4 times in a row, but you changed it up the last time with Christmas Parmesan.
In Andrew's defense, that was during the early era before you guys got creative.
We were 60 episodes in.
Yeah, but like at a certain point.
Yeah, that's the early era.
It's the
before
early
we got
era.
creative.
We're in episode like 280 something.
Fair enough. Andrew, do you want to reframe that?
Well, this is a different thing, so I'm giving
Yeah.
it a different cheese rating. It still has goat cheese, the original. I'm not changing it. Yeah, this movie's really good. You should absolutely fucking watch this movie. Like, just go watch it right now. It's probably still in theaters, but it might not be because Mean Girls.
Yeah.
I had to go to one theater I don't go to anymore because all my other theaters weren't playing it anymore. So
Yeah, it is on Amazon for $20, which is maybe
Worth
more
it.
than a movie ticket.
it's
but
honestly
probably
worth
it.
Especially if you watch your family.
You can have it forever for $20.
Yeah,
Great movie.
just keep it. So yeah, I'm gonna give it Southern cheese grits. I don't know what those are, but I'm sure they're grits with cheese. Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Probably. People
fair
like grits.
I like
Wow.
grits. I love this movie. Obviously, I have pits to knit, and all that. But truly, I know it sounds like I had a lot of things that I didn't love about it. But the things that I loved very, very hard. And one of the best since Dreamgirls and since Chicago. Truly perfect. And I wish that Fantasia was in more of the awards conversations. I have not seen Poor Things, but I wish that Fantasia would be able to get at least a nomination for an Oscar.
I have seen Poor Things. Emma Stone is insane in that movie, and it's kind of astounding. So I would
Alright.
keep her on that list.
I'm not saying remove Emma Stone, but I'm just saying like
You
Fantasia's
should
great.
add Fantasia to that list, though. She should be in awards contention.
I loved
Absolutely.
Oppenheimer, but remove Emily Blunt from that list. She's fine, but you know,
They should add Florence Pugh to that list just for the micro amount she's in it.
Look,
yeah,
Oppenheimer sucked. Terrible movie.
you are so
Oppenheimer
wrong.
was kind of boring.
You're both fucking wrong.
It was so boring. I
Yeah.
was falling asleep the whole time I watched it.
Andrew, you did not watch it.
I definitely went and saw it. I fell asleep in the theater.
That's why I didn't see it in theaters. I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, you can't see Oppenheimer in theaters. You
No,
would literally
that's
just
where I
fall
sleep.
asleep.
That movie is like having an anxiety attack for 3 hours. You can't just be bored in a theater if you're trapped
Yeah,
watching
but I
it.
have anxiety attacks whenever I feel like it, so why would I have one in a movie theater?
You make good points. I am
Also, I
giving
nearly fell
this.
asleep watching Lincoln, so you know.
Lincoln is boring as fuck. So,
Anyway, Jess, your cheese ready.
I am giving this Port Wine Derby, which is a beautiful looking cheese. I love wine and cheese. I will miss drinking it. But look at that. Isn't that pretty?
I can't believe Jess turned into a straight edge.
Yeah.
Speaking of straight edge, thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, and nowhere else at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals. We're on Patreon at Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese, YouTube page Musicals with Cheese. Our patron-only podcast is Patreon with Cheese. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com to tell us how wrong we are about everything. Our show is edited by the wonderful and the incredible Andrew DeWolf. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. Here's some ASMR for you, Juliet. The color purple, where does it come from? Our themes are created by Robyn, Nash of IOU Music UK. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform and for not kicking us off for talking about the button that you push to get in. All right, guys, do we have anything else left to say?
Okay, I'm gonna gripe about that fucking phrase. The button you push to get in is not accurate in any fucking way. Like, it's a button you push to get things going. That's the better way to phrase that.
Yeah, but you're not getting in if you don't push the button.
Yeah, but like, I don't like, it implies the clitoris is a different spot it actually is. Like,
Wait, where does it imply the spot is?
if it says to get in, it's like where, I don't want to have this discussion.
I thought they were talking about the belly button.
It seen The Room.
Yeah. You
I thought the-
are my rose. You
You
are
my
my
rose.
rose.
I thought the clitoris was up the nose. Man.
No, the clitoris is the lady's thumb.
Damn. Well, we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese. Like a plate of corn, like a honeybee, like a waterfall, all a part of me, like the color purple. Where do it come from? Now my eyes are open. Look what God has done.